Ross Harris' sentence, major controversy over the Cobb County father who left his son to die in a hot SUV. What the judge said coming up. Early November, Georgia State was granted Turner Field for new development. Many students were happy about the news, but not all. Michaela Newton has the details. Now that classes have ended for the fall semester, holiday season is here. Find out the helpful tips experts are giving to avoid stressful travel. Welcome to the first episode of Panther Report. I'm Brina Alvizu, and I am honored to be your host this evening. We begin with a dramatic court sentence. A judge has sentenced Justin Ross Harris to life in prison without parole for the murder of his 22-month-old son, Cooper. In 2014, Harris left his son in a hot car for several hours while he went to work. In addition to the life term, Cobb County Superior Court Judge Mary Stanley Clark gave Harris a 20-year sentence on a conviction for first-degree cruelty to children and another 10 years for sexual exploitation of children. Harris's lawyers now plan to take his appeal to the Georgia Supreme Court. This upcoming spring semester will include new classes, new textbooks, and even new security upgrades. Advanced security at Georgia State's library, including a biometric fingerprint scanner, will be placed in hopes to increase safety for students and faculty. Panther Report's Shanika Wright has the story.
In response to the multiple robberies that occurred in Library North over the past 2 semesters, security around and inside the library has increased. However, there are even bigger plans for library security in the near future. Since the 4 robberies occurred in Library North, multiple security guards can be found outside of the library entrances checking student IDs and patrolling every level of the library. The Dean of Libraries, Jeff Steele, ensured that the library has taken major steps to secure the safety of its students.
We'll be going from a Panther card access to using a biometric fingerprint reader for access. It's relatively easy to share a card. You can't share your fingerprint.
These updates are planned to be completed very soon.
We'll start work right after finals, and we'll have the work completed by the time students come back for the spring semester.
However, some students are not so optimistic about what has been done or the new changes to come.
I don't think fingerprint's going to do anything. It's just going to be more time consuming to get into the library.
There's not much we can do. It's an open campus. It's people that don't go to school here that's just walking here. So it's just have to be on the lookout, basically.
These security upgrades are aiming to prevent further incidents like those from occurring and keeping our students safe. Reporting from Library North, I'm Shanika Wright, Panther Report.
The search for answers continues in Oakland, California, as city, state, and federal agencies search through wreckage in one of the city's deadliest building fires on record. 36 bodies have so far been discovered inside the warehouse turned art space. Though the fire's origin has been narrowed to the rear of the building, criminal investigators have yet to know who is responsible. A fence and sidewalk near the site became a memorial, with loved ones and others leaving flowers, candles, and photographs. Early November, Georgia State announced its approval to purchase Turner Field for $22.8 million, clearing the way to convert the former home of the Atlanta Braves into a college football stadium. While many students are excited about the new change, many are left concerned with the effect the development may have. Panther Report correspondent Michaela Newton has further details.
Georgia State has purchased Turner Field for $22.8 million. in an effort to change the old Atlanta Braves Stadium into a new college football stadium. However, some Georgia State students are not happy about this change. On November 9th, President Mark Becker sent out this email stating that the University System Board of Regents approved the university's purchase of Turner Field from the Georgia State Foundation. The $22.8 million deal includes converting Turner Field into a 23,000-seat stadium. According to ESPN.com, the remainder of the site will be sold and leased to Georgia State's development partner, Carter & Associates. The company plans a $300 million development that includes private housing, retail space, and corporate facilities around the stadium.
We're going to convert Turner Field into a football stadium. We're going to build a new baseball stadium. We're going to build new student dorms. This is great for us. This is great for the future of Georgia State. But what about including the long-term residents in the neighborhoods?
Protesters gathered in Library Plaza against Mark Becker and the conversion of Turner Field to a new college football stadium.
I know Georgia State is in need of more parking, and I think parking-wise it's good, but really, if you all the money that you spend for the stadium, turning it into a football field, I'm not sure that that's a smart idea. I don't know. I feel like the money could have been used for something better.
I spoke with President Mark Becker, who says we are excited to begin the next phase of this transformational project for the university and the city.
Itself is a unique opportunity for us to have a football stadium. It's probably the only way we would get our own stadium. And playing in a professional stadium has not been ideal. It's really too large for our football program at this stage of our history. So really it was a coming together of opportunities to actually bring Georgia State athletics into the city.
When asked about what he thought about Georgia State students thinking that their student fees were being used for gentrification, President Mark Becker had this to say.
That's nonsense. That's just plain nonsense.
Georgia State plans on playing at the new stadium at the start of the next football season. I'm Michaela Newton for Panther Report.
Ben Carson, a former candidate who ran for the Republican nomination in the 2016 presidential election, will be returning to the political sphere. Presidential-elect Donald Trump has chosen the retired neurosurgeon as Secretary of the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
His life has been an incredible life. It's been a awe-inspiring life, and I just want to tell you that having his support really, I think it adds just total credence to what I'm trying to do.
Carson's new role will be to strengthen the housing market to bolster the economy and protect consumers with access to quality, affordable homes for all. Trump's nomination has been praised by Republicans such as House Speaker Paul Ryan, but slammed by Democrats such as Representative Elijah Cummings, calling Carson, in quote, woefully unqualified, end quote. Homeless and hungry Georgia State students will now be able to obtain free food, which means less time worrying. Panthers Pantry is a free resource aimed to reduce short-term food insecurity for students experiencing the stress of financial constraints. Panther Report's Angie Rosette has the story.
Clichy Udie calls Panthers Pantry a hidden gem.
I didn't easily have anyone to be able to go home to be able to get any food resources on my own.
Food insecurity can be defined as the lack of reliable access to affordable and healthy food.
At least 20% of students at Georgia State suffer from food insecurity, which is consistent with campuses nationwide. Panthers Pantry provides products such as canned fruits and vegetables to help offset this problem.
Hundreds of schools nationwide have opened food pantries to combat food insecurity, and the number keeps growing. According to a study released by 4 campus-based organizations, food insecurity affects students of color and first-generation college students significantly more, with almost 60%.
I got so desperate, I put rice, macaroni noodles, and eggs, and tomato sauce, somehow tried to make something out of that.
The report released also found that consequences of food insecurity include skipping class, not being able to pay for textbooks, and even dropping a course altogether. With the holidays approaching, many try to help those in need, but the chair of donations for Panthers Pantry says we need to give more.
Everybody thinks about donating to a food pantry as we get into November and December. It starts getting a little bit scarce when you start getting into January and February and March, and people have moved on to thinking about other things, and yet the need still exists.
Panthers Pantry counts with a wide selection of canned goods, grains, cereals, and even toiletries and coupons. The Panthers Pantry is located below the Urban Life building on Parking Lot B. It's completely confidential, and they let you take what you need. Make sure to check the Panthers Pantry Facebook page to know when they will be open. Reporting for GSTV Panther Report, Angie Rosette.
President Barack Obama has sung Prince's Purple Rain, danced to Michael Jackson's Thriller, and at the National Christmas Tree lighting at the White House on December 5th, he couldn't help himself. Take a look. President Obama, accompanied by his family and some famous friends, including Eva Longoria, Kelly Clarkson, and Chance the Rapper, all sung the infamous carol for what is his last national Christmas tree lighting at the White House as president. He did better than I expected, to tell you the truth. Speaking of music, the 59th Grammy Awards is sure to be a star-studded event. This morning on CBS This Morning, Meghan Trainor announced the nominees for categories such as Best New Artist, Record of the Year, and Song of the Year. The biggest category, Album of the Year, is packed with celebrity artists like Justin Bieber, Adele, Drake, and Beyonce. The 2017 Grammys will be hosted by the Late Late Show's James Corden and will air live on CBS February 12th. The new addition to the Petite Science Center, a 10-story laboratory tower, is intended to bring additional research and educational opportunities to Georgia State. Panther Report correspondent Celeste Garcia has the details.
The Research Science Center recently had its grand opening, introducing the new addition to the Petite Science Center.
The research and laboratory space will be dealing with biological science and Ebola research. Georgia State is on pace to bring in $120 million in research dollars.
Petite Center was the first building, and with it brought on additional researchers to come into Georgia State to actually do their research.
The 6-story facility currently has 3 active floors. The top 2 centers currently research on inflammation and aging obesity, insulin resistance, cardiovascular disease, and type 2 diabetes. The second floor is a full vault variant design, complete with airlocks and cleaning areas to wash all the cages of the mice that would be tested on. The building was reconfigured based on work that will look at the next set of diagnostics, therapeutic preventative vaccines that ultimately would either manage or eradicate diseases.
And problem solving is all about teams. It's about people who can work together. Design of this building is such that those teams can essentially come together on a single floor and can cross-fertilize in terms of ideas as well as infrastructure.
So welcome to your new Science Center, Georgia State. I'm Celeste Garcia reporting for Panther Report.
Well, now that the semester is officially over and finals have begun, students are now getting ready for the winter break. As you know, this time of year is always hectic for holiday travelers, but experts say it doesn't always have to be stressful. In fact, apps can be in handy. The Transportation Security Administration is unveiling new tools to help travelers move along more efficiently. For example, if you are unsure about what you are allowed to carry on a plane, you can use Twitter or Facebook by tweeting at AskTSA or going to the AskTSA Facebook page to have your questions answered in a matter of minutes. That's all for this week's show. Be sure to follow us on YouTube at GSTV Panther Report for all the latest news, shows, and breaking news around campus. Once again, I'm your host, Brianna Alvizu. I hope you have a wonderful and safe winter break, and we will see you all next semester in 2017.